welcome to Retrotainment. We're here again to continue with our Christmas films. Obviously, this is going to be our last one. It's
Merry
obviously
Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Christmas Day here.
Humbug.
The boys at the boys at the Dynamo Podcast Network and at the Sherlock Reel don't let you down. We won't miss an episode. You know, it's Christmas Day. You probably won't watch it today. You'll have your Christmas dinners to be eating, Christmas films to be watching, and a few drinks to be had, I'd assume, for most. So you can watch it the next day when you're recovering in bed from the night before. You can watch it just before the football kicks off, I suppose. Good all day for the football. Obviously, we are covering Christmas films, and what better one to do on Christmas Day
than the goat.
Than Die Hard, you know? Like, let's not beat around the bush here. Die Hard, Christmas film. No discussion to be had here.
This is the same thing we say every year. There's two types of people in this world. One who knows that Die Hard is the best Christmas film, and those who are wrong.
Yeah.
Don't be wrong.
Yeah, like listen, it's set at Christmas, you know. If it wasn't
the whole
Christmas,
premise works around Christmas.
It has to be Christmas for the film to work. Therefore, Christmas film. I agree. You know, I like certain traditional Christmas films of, you know, Santa and, you know, family oriented and things like that. But this is, yeah, you know, Arthur Christmas likes that. I love all them. I love that. I love all them. You know, I love the Muppets Christmas Carol. I love all that. But this, undoubtedly, a Christmas film and one of the most enjoyable ones that you'll ever watch. Really, I think.
Genius, this is.
Yeah. Obviously, it's Die Hard released.
Die Hard 1.
Yeah, original Die Hard, you know, the original Die Hard. Released over here on the 3rd of March, 1989. So you're probably talking back in the 80s, you're probably talking that it was released just before Christmas in the States and things like that, which is where these all get released.
It wouldn't have made sense for it to come out March here.
It was actually released in the States, I think it was July. It was June or July of
I suppose
of 88.
A summer sort of blockbuster at that, yeah. Of 88, Jesus, we were even slower getting it. Ratings wise, 80 critics, 94% audience, 94%. You know, I think that's the first time we've had two bang on 94, like they're the same ratings. And I think those are pretty fair. You know, like I can see why it wouldn't get 100% as well. You know,
oh yeah,
it must be one of the highest rated, you know, combined score on Rotten Tomatoes.
I'd say it's right up there. All right,
it's probably the third one that we've done. Is it? Terminator was 1.
Terminator 1 and 2 were definitely up there.
2, yeah, because they both have 100%. I think
they have 100%. I think critic wise, I don't know if they have both 100%. I think this is definitely in the top 2 or 3 of combined scores, though. 100% for that. Like there's wasn't much to beat that. Box office wise, this did not do all that well. 139.8 million, which isn't bad for the time, but it's not a great box office considering how big this film has become.
I mean, releasing a Christmas movie in July or whatever Carl said is never gonna go well really anyway.
Yeah, well, the thing is that it's more that, you know, they were resting on Alan Rickman for this. Bruce Willis wasn't really a big star by this point. Now, the second Die Hard film killed it in the box office, like nearly 500 million.
And nearly wrecked the franchise.
But do you know what I mean? Like this didn't make that much because it was the starting point for some people's careers. Yeah. But you can see how well it did and how well it was loved. Like this was in the cinema for quite some time as well.
I just did the calculation there to see how much 138 million was if it was today, and that would be 322 million.
Yeah, which is, you know, it's not
which
bad,
is good.
But
it's good for an action flick.
Yeah, but like you compare it to, you know, when you have the lead role as the main star, you know, like the big attraction is the lead role. It's normally
nobody.
Yeah, he wasn't in this, so you know you're relying on Alan Rickman being the bad guy, and you're not going to show too much of the bad guy.
That was his first movie, Alan Rickman. This was.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he was only doing other small bit part roles beforehand, and he wasn't the name. He was a stage actor and all that beforehand.
Yeah, no,
this was his first movie.
Yeah, that actually is true. So like you're not really relying on anyone big name wise here to sell this, and it did well enough. Like. Well enough to be one of the most highly rated films
It was a Sinatra movie, original,
Yeah.
or it
Yeah.
was written for Sinatra.
Yeah, and then they moved it off. But obviously they went with Bruce Willis, which is, in retrospect, a great choice.
When you look back on it now, I know we do the recast and we've done an episode on this.
Yeah.
Like there's not many people you could cast.
True. At the time, it was. I think we said it on the recast episode. Mel Gibson was in talks for the role as well before they before he passed on it and went to Lethal Weapon.
Well,
Yeah.
he can get in the bin.
Also, but I mean, not a bad choice to move on to Lethal Weapon either.
No,
Yeah.
another great flick.
Another great series there. I love this though, like the way this starts, and they're on the plane, and you just see that he's completely terrified of flying, and your man's there telling him, yeah, make monkey feet with you on the bare carpet when you get off, and he's just like, what is this lad talking about? Like, imagine being on a plane and some lad saying that to you, you'd be like, yeah, all right, mate, settle down.
And then his
Fist
face,
with your toes.
yeah,
Fist with your toes.
his face when he sees the gun,
Yeah,
and he's like,
So-
oh, and he's like, relax, I've been doing this for 15 years.
yeah, it's a strange one because nowadays, not a hope he was getting onto that plane with a gun. Don't
Unless
care.
I think your only air marshals are allowed, really, aren't you?
Air marshal, but unless you're a New York cop, not a chance, lads. Get that gun off and put it in the hold. Like, you're not bringing that on the plane.
I'd definitely be allowed. He'd definitely be allowed to transport it, but
Transport, yes, but not have it on his person. Like,
Person, yeah.
yeah, I love this.
The pre 9/11 safety laws. Huh?
what laws?
I love that. They land, and like as he's getting off, he's walking out, and we don't really know a whole lot about his character now. We obviously know that he's a police officer and he's flying home to visit the family. That's all we know of him. And then we see someone there with the sign who's obviously Argyle, and he's like, oh, this is for me. So he goes and gets into the car. It's a limo, and you can see he's just as confused. He's like, this isn't my street at all. Like, what's this?
I've never seen someone look more uncomfortable in a limo.
Yeah, and I love that Argyle pointed out. He's like, do you not want to sit in the back, man? And he's like, no. Just has the big teddy bear in the back. That's obviously for the kids. Only one though.
Oh, he's two.
It's just the one big bear, isn't it?
Oh, just the one bear. Yeah, sorry, two
bear,
kids.
Yeah, no, he's two kids, but just one big bear. That's a bit scabby,
Yeah, prick.
Yeah.
He definitely bought that in the gift shop.
Yeah, must have 100%. But I love that. Like, Argyle's driving him around, and he puts on some music, and John is just like, "Do you got any Christmas music?" And I think this
Christmas music.
I think this works really well because it kind of, obviously they didn't plan it back then, but it works in the argument of it's not a Christmas film, and you're like, no, well, it is because it's about Christmas. And then that song, the NWA song, it's a Christmas song because it's about Christmas. But like when you first hear it, you're like, this isn't like when you hear, oh, I'm just gonna put on this NWA song, people are like, we not put on some Christmas music. You're not thinking that. And then you're like, I'm gonna put on an action film. People are like, no, put on a Christmas film. So I think it works really well. Obviously, I don't think they had it planned that way, but it's a really nice little bit that does work out.
What else is there? They're driving around. Does he pick up? Is it a Brad that he picks up? And he's like, oh, sorry, I had my girl in the car.
Yeah, he does. He's like, oh yeah, I had my girl in the car. And he's like, yeah, I'm only
first week.
It's only my first week driving the limo around. But Argyle's, dead on. He's like, I'll drop you to where you're going. But I'll hang around just in case things don't work out with the wife, and I'll bring you to a hotel, or you can come back to mine if you want.
Do you notice the switch in this? So do you know the way normally when you get in a taxi, you talk to the taxi man?
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't talk back. This was completely the reverse of that.
Yeah.
He's talking as if he's the passenger, and
That's what he
McClane's just
says.
not giving up.
That's what he says. He says this is his first week on the job when he was driving a taxi beforehand. So
no, I know,
he's
but you know the way normally it's flipped around.
Yeah.
And like he's just not giving that up. Like,
yeah, no, it's great. But he gets into the, John gets to Nakatomi Plaza, great looking building. But he goes in and he asks for Holly McClane, and your man's like, no name here.
Fill it in on the.
Yeah, so he has to go.
touchpad.
He has to go and find her, and she's not using his surname, which he's not a happy man about at all.
Pisses him off a little.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah, but again, I suppose she's got a bit of a point in that she was like, I got offered a really good job and you could have moved down here to be a police officer, but you chose to stay in New York.
But he also makes the point that he has still some people to put away.
He does, but I mean, there's plenty of people to put away down here. So like you can see where her argument comes from as well, in that like you're the one who made the choice not to come here, not me.
Yeah, but if they're still married, her changing her name to Gennaro is kind of a dick move if they're still married.
They're married, but how long have they been away from each other, you know?
Yeah,
6 months.
they're on the route to divorce.
Yeah, like they were on the rocks here.
Sugarcoat it.
Yeah, like when he arrived, she's like, if you want, you can stay in the spare bedroom, you know, like it's not even, she's not even sure he's going to want to stay, and he's not sure if he wants to stay there either, you know, like he's even planning with Argyle to pick him up and drive him to a hotel if this doesn't go well, sort of thing.
But where's
you know,
he
like,
going? He's talking about someone else, one of his friends being in Pasadena or somewhere.
yeah. But you know, they make the decision that he is going to stay in the spare room, and we get introduced to old Cocaine Ellis.
Man, I forgot how much of a weed he is in this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I love that he's clearly, you know, trying to get stuck into Holly, even with John sitting there. And John's just like, do you know who I am? Like,
Show him the watch. Show him the watch.
It's not even the funniest bit though is where they walk into her office and he's doing coke off the table, and Nakache is telling him, he's like, this is Holly's husband, John, the police officer.
Your man doesn't care. He's just like, yeah, grand.
Well, sure, he can't do that to him anyway. He's out of his.
He's already taken it.
Well, no, he's out of his jurisdiction as well.
He's out of his nut as well, that lad.
Yeah.
But you know, he goes back out, and then they argue about the surname. You know, they've decided that he will stay in the house because obviously that's what's best for the kids. But the argument breaks out about the surname, and she storms out, and he goes off to kind of clean himself up a little bit. And this is when he takes the shoes and everything off to
try it.
to do the
son of a bitch.
Make the knuckles with his feet. How many people do you think were doing that after this film? Like,
Loads.
I still do it.
Do you? I've
I
never
still do it.
I've never done that. I don't know why you would do it. I don't feel weird after flying. So
to help with circulation.
It's I've never found anything like that. Like, I'm fine when I go off the plane.
Do you know what helps me? An old pint.
Yeah, after a long flight, it can't help. It's actually sound advice.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never done it, but like, I'd imagine after this film came out, I'd say everyone was doing it. Like, no matter how short the flight was,
10-minute flights or 15-minute flights,
getting into their hotel and doing it straight away. Like,
no, I did find it help when I did go over to the States. That's one of the first things I did, and it was like, oh yeah, actually, it's weird. That does help.
I hope you put your shoes straight back on afterwards, though.
Oh, 100%. You don't make that mistake.
No, learn your lesson a little bit later on here. I love how slick the operation is, though, when the boys get in. You know, they come in to reception. Reception dead within seconds. Everything set up. Your man, he has the jacket off him into the receptionist's jacket. The whole thing, it's just so slick, the whole operation.
Well, you think all this starts within about 2 minutes?
Yeah,
essentially, because he goes into the bathroom and then they walk in. Now I know them walking in could have happened before while they were having the fight or what, and they just had to show you. But in terms of the way it goes, like, it's all done in 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, no, it's done so quickly. Like, and then they cut the phone lines, and now the phone line is important because obviously John is on the phone to Argyle at the time, who's down in the backseat partying with the bear.
Yeah,
having a great old time. He was
having the sesh,
having the best time of his life sitting down there. But they cut the phone lines and everything. It's just so quick. Like, the only bit that doesn't run smooth is when they are cutting the phone lines, and your man walks in with the
chainsaw
with Carl, and he's like, "Yeah, just 1 minute," and he's just like, "Yep," and your man's like, "Oh Jesus!"
He's trying to cut through.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what he's cutting there. It obviously is the cables that run up.
It's I think it's the alarm wires, you know, to set the alarms off straight away.
Oh, probably, yeah.
I'd say that's what it was. But
funny though.
Yeah, Carl's not waiting around. Let's just cut these and let's go. But we hear the gunshots outside now, and John is just he's straight. He's like, right, out of here. Forget the shoes, not putting them on. Just get me gun, get everything I have, and just run up the stairs here.
I love how he looks out and he's like, yeah, I'm going for it. Look,
Yeah, well, like he looks out and he's like, okay, there's two boyos with machine guns, a couple of more over there, and I'm standing here with nothing.
there's a handgun. That's all he
I'm,
needs.
I'm probably not going to rush out there. Run out. One of them hits me with one bullet, and that's me dead. I better put a plan in motion here.
I love how
higher
you
ground.
see them rounding everyone up, and they go into the office next door, and the two that walked in on John and Holly having an argument
Yeah,
are in there riding.
You're right.
yeah. I like the way Gruber gets them all together, and he's like, okay, now who's the owner around here? And he starts listing out his accomplishments. And while he's doing it, he's looking at each person. So he obviously knows it's someone, an older gentleman, because he's got in and around the age range. He knows he's like it's not an American person. It's
He's a Japanese.
he's a Japanese guy. So he's reading through it and he's looking at one other guy who's around the same age, and you can see he's like, I don't really care which one it is. I'll either get him, and this won't be him, and then I'll move on to the next one. Or
it's all very calculated.
Yeah, and as he's reading it out, he starts moving towards the other guy who's not the boss, and then obviously the boss steps up. He's like, yeah, no, that's me. They're like, right, come on in here. We have a little chat over here. Come on.
We'll have a chin wag.
Yeah, bring him in, and he's like, now tell us all the tell us the codes. How do we get into this vault?
Yeah.
Hey, your man's just like, I don't have the codes. That's not how it works.
We get them every morning from Japan.
Yeah, he's like, that's not how it works. You're gonna have to just wait. And he's like, why? What do you even want to get in there? He's like, I want all those bearer bonds in there. A lot of money.
300 or 600 million.
Yeah, he's just like, so give me the codes. And I like how calm he is about it. He's like, give me the codes. No, okay, fine.
I love how John's looking on here.
He watches through, yeah.
And he's trying to get a shot.
Yeah, he wants to get the shot, but he still notices, there's still a couple of boys around. He's like, I might get I have the handgun with, limited ammo. I might get one or two of them. That's about it.
Well, if they're anything like the stormtroopers from Star Wars, you get them all.
Yeah, but he can't know that, He has to. He's a veteran policeman.
This seems to be a very tactical, well-oiled machine.
Yeah,
you assume they're trained hitmen.
Yeah. But he goes back upstairs and right, I've got the plan. I'll get up onto the 32nd floor, pull the fire alarm, which is that's pretty smart idea, because it's going to alert, like a building like that. It's obviously going to alert straight to the fire brigade and the police department. So you're kind of like, smart idea. And they're going to send someone to check. So like, as long as they don't send everyone to check, you might be able to get a.
Well, you're never going to send, when you have that many hostages, you're never going to send everyone to check.
No, but like, even if you send 2 or 3, he'd still be in danger. Whereas, you send one, he has a good chance here. He's obviously a police officer, so he's used to being in these sort of situations. So he makes the best of it anyway. Fucks that guy down the stairs. I know, not on purpose, but they just kind of roll down. But
yeah, it's rough, isn't it?
Yeah,
Carl's brother.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the rougher deaths as well. Like, because all the other ones, like
Definitely,
the other ones
yeah.
are rough in terms of like they're getting shot and all this stuff. Like that one's kind of an accidental death. Like he doesn't even mean to kill the guy.
Yeah,
They're just gonna roll down.
Like,
Yeah,
He breaks his neck.
Yeah, they're rolling down the stairs, just the neck breaks. But he makes the best of that. Takes the gun and sticks him into the elevator and sends it down.
And he had the
detonators.
He had all the detonators.
He had the detonators, and he had one stick of the C4.
Yeah.
But he sends him down in the elevator. Now I have a machine gun. Ho ho ho.
Ho ho.
Alan
Rickman's delivery in this film is just out of this world.
Yeah,
I love the like they're like, we better tell Carl, so they tell him, and Carl's like freaking out, and Alan Rickman is just like, hey, shut the fuck up, basically. Like, just sit down and shut up. Like, we've got a big operation
Carl's
here.
a big unit too.
Yeah, but I just like, that's how calm he plays it the whole time. He's like, yeah, just relax. You'll get him later. It's fine.
There's no emotion whatsoever. It's stick to the plan, and that's it.
Yeah, but he manages to get at the phone and ring the police station, and he's like, "I'm here, in this place. It's being burgled. Send somebody." And they're just like, "Please stop wasting our time." And you're like, I know, some guys just rang you and told you that terrorists have invaded this big building that's worth a lot of money, and your response is, "Stop wasting our time."
It's because the fire,
Yeah.
the fire alarm had gone off and they cut it out, and they were like, "No, it's a false alarm."
Yeah. Still, and they eventually agree, we'll send somebody to check. And this is when we get to see our man.
I think the only reason they agreed to send it is because the lads come up and start shooting at him,
Yeah.
and they can hear that in the background.
Yeah, so they're like, "Right, we'll send somebody." And they
Here
just
comes
send
the goat police.
just
Sergeant
send-
Al Powell.
just the man who happens to be closest. And I like this because they're like, "Go check on the building." He's basically there already anyway, because he was in the shop buying stuff for his pregnant wife, he says. Now,
I believe him.
do we buy that, or do we think that's his excuse?
I believed him. I thought it was the shopkeeper was just being a dick.
You can tell they have a rapport.
See, I thought the shopkeeper was being a dick, but then he's kind of chuckling away to himself as well as the shopkeeper saying it, and it's like, yeah, it's probably a half and half story. Like, she probably asked you to go get some stuff, and you were like, "Better get some other just for me as well,"
I think he knows the shopkeeper as well.
No, he does. Like, there's definitely a report. Like, he's going in there quite consistently, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But they send Al, and Al goes to check it out.
I love how he walks out and just looks over, and he's like,
I like how he goes in, and the reception plays it really cool as well. No real panic, but they're all set up to kill him if he does get as far as the elevators.
I
But
love it though. He's like, "I have 20 quid on
the game,
Rams."
Yeah, and they're just like, "Oh, okay." Kind of looks around, and then he's just like, "I'm not going up there. I'm not going all the way up there.
This.
Yeah, I'm going home." So he goes back out, and he's like, "Yeah, thanks, guys." Back out into his car. While all this is happening, there's a big old scrap going on upstairs with
Big John taking out the men.
Gets another two of them there.
Under the table. Your man is terrible with this gun. He's a proper,
Stormtrooper.
He's a stormtrooper through and through. This lad can't shoot anything. Just get down off the table, crouch down, and shoot underneath it where he is. What are you standing on top of the table for? But he gets put down, and then as Al's going to drive off, John is just like,
"Fuck it.
No, that ain't happening. Time to fire this body out the window." And that's what he does, straight down onto the car.
I love Al's reaction. He's like, "Oh God!" Just slams it into reverse.
I like that. When that happens, he starts driving. And you can see he's got he is a good driver, but they start then shooting down at him. You're just like, you guys just could have not done that. Like, if you just didn't shoot at him, he might have just thought that was a suicide.
Well, welcome to the party, pal.
Yeah.
Great line.
Yeah. But
there's a couple of great one-liners in this.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have the big one that comes in later.
Yeah. I love, we go back down to the car park, and Argyle is still here pumping the tunes out. So he hasn't heard any of this stuff going out because he's pumping the tunes. And then the van
driving behind them.
Van drives in behind him. He's on the phone to all his mates and stuff. He's just, he's having a great old time down there.
I mean, he's having his own Christmas party.
Yeah. But Al calls in Al calls in for the backup. He's like, "Yeah, there was a lot of shots fired, and somebody just threw a body out onto the windshield of my car. I think I need some more people here.
Swiss cheese here.
Yeah, I think I need some more people here. Can you guys send them down?"
I love it. The way he says it as well. And they're just kind of like, "Are they not going to send somebody?"
Yeah, I was like, wow, you got called about this happening. Now another police officer, like one of your police officers telling you, like, get a lot of people down there. It's a strange one, like, because the police then do get there quite quickly after this.
Yeah, and it's all locked down then.
Yeah. But we get, we get one of the better lines just in and around here as well. The old yippee-ki-yay motherfucker. Just.
And that's when John finally gets talking to
Hans.
To Hans. He gets the walkie-talkie.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? Like, "Who are you, cowboy?" I love that, because that's where it all comes from.
John Wayne, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's obviously from there, and he's like, it's Hans Gruber who initiates the whole thing, like, "Who are you, cowboy?" And he's like, it's not just some nobody upstairs. He's killed 3 of our men now.
Yeah, like you can see here, he's trying to figure out where's it coming from, or is this guy just picking people off luckily? But you don't pick off 3 of them. One of them maybe.
Like the first one, you
Yeah.
could say was a bit lucky. You know, they fell down the stairs, one died, and he happened to survive.
Yeah,
The next one, you're like, yeah, you could probably get one of them with your gun, but to survive both of them,
yeah.
yeah,
This is I think one of the more established plot holes that they can't figure out that he's some kindly trained.
yeah, and they're just trying to work it out the whole time. They're like, who is it? Like,
Yeah.
who? Like they kind of think it must just be a security guard that they missed. But they're like, nah, it'd just be a rent-a-cop. Like, surely he's not this good.
Yeah, we turned it into John Rambo.
Yeah, but I like this because you get the two of them kind of conversing back and forth, which obviously, you get the idea that Gruber is uber confident that his plan's going to work, so he doesn't mind chatting to this guy. But John is also thinking, I'm a cop. This is how I would conduct business, from the outside. Talk to him, find out what his demands are, find out weaknesses, how I can get around this. But they kind of have their conversation, and then it gets hung up, and then Holly gets brought in because she's now the most senior person in this firm because
Yeah.
he killed the boss man.
And they just happen to be in her office.
Yeah, what I do like is that Holly comes in, and it's not by she's not requested to come in. She demands that she wants to go in.
Yeah, to get the pregnant lady a chair.
Yeah, and I like that she goes in and she's like, I've got a pregnant woman out there. And I like how Hans is just kind of disgusted by this. He's just like, oh God, she's gonna have the baby, and it's gonna ruin my plan. Like, come on.
Like, don't worry, she's not due yet.
Yeah, another 5 weeks, but she's quite uncomfortable out there. Could you get an old sofa out here, please?
And
unless you want it messy, you'd want to start taking us shifts to the bathroom.
Yeah, I like how she's kind of dictating to him, and he's just like, she's not wrong.
I mean, yeah, she's 100% not wrong.
But he doesn't want to, he doesn't want to show her that she's right. So he's kind of like, all right, fair enough.
There's also the part that we missed earlier where they were in the office the first time, and she puts the picture of him, her, and the kids down.
Yeah. So
and when she walks in, you can see her looking at the desk going, oh,
is it still down?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's told everyone, that it's John that's doing it.
Yeah.
But, this is when Argyle learns on the news about the...
he hasn't a Scooby-Doo, does he?
He's after hearing it on the news. He's like, right, I better drive out of here. No, that's locked. I'll drive out of here. No, that's locked. He's just like, right, I suppose I'll just stay here. I'll just stay here now.
You think he would have rang somebody from the inside?
Yeah, his phone clearly worked. You think he would have just rang somebody? But nope. I'll just stay here. Obviously, the rest of the police all show up, and they take over from the discussion that Al has been having with John, and Al has picked up on the idea that this is a police officer.
Yeah, Dwayne is a dick.
Yeah, but he comes in and he's just like, no, we're going to send a lot of officers in, and he's like, no, don't do that. Like, he's going to kill them. But why does nobody listen to Al, and why does nobody listen to John? The two boys who are here from the pretty much the start, and this lad shows up and he's like, nah, just send a lot of the boys in.
I love that though. He just keeps shooting Al down. Like, he's obviously higher ranked.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't care. He's like, my way will work. And Al's like, no, he must be a cop. Listen to the way he's talking.
Yeah, and he makes sure not to like say that he's a cop on the walkie-talkies. Like, neither of them ever say it on the walkie-talkies because obviously Hans can hear it.
What's your name? Roy.
Yeah. But
yeah.
I like that, he's like, right, we'll send them in, but he's like, we'll just send a couple of the boys up, and they get up to the window, and Hans is like, shoot them, but don't kill.
Maim them, yeah.
Yeah, like shoot them in the, like around their feet and stuff, because I don't want them dead, because obviously they kill a cop, shit's gonna go.
It doesn't matter. Yeah,
shit's gonna go even more south for him. So he's like, no, I want this to stay at a very certain level.
Well, he knew he needed the cops there anyway.
He knows he needs the FBI there. So his whole plan is, and we don't know this at the time, but like his whole plan is to wait till the FBI gets there. And at this whole time, he has one of the boys down working on the safe, and he's like, I've got through the first door, I've got through the second, and they know that the 7th one is the one that they can't get through.
Yeah, that's what you need the codes for.
Well, no, you need the codes for all of them, but he's like, that 7th one, you have to have that code. There's no way of breaking through with encryption or
Can't
drilling
cut it,
through
yeah.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not possible. But the boys get shot at the window, so they're like, right, we'll send the little car, the armored car, the little
mini
armored
tank.
car up. Well, that doesn't go too well because the rocket launchers just get fired down at it.
I love this though. You see them setting it up, and it's just right at the edge of the window, and it's just aimed down. Like,
I like that they drop one of the rockets on the way, and they're just like, leave it, come on, we'll come back and get it after. Which at the time seemed like, yeah, that'd make sense. You're in a rush to make sure the police don't get into where you're stealing.
yeah,
But also pretty much everyone's locked downstairs, so who's going to come take our weapons?
apart from the guy who's been killing your people.
Yeah, but you're kind of thinking, we probably have him sorted off elsewhere. We'll be all right to leave that there for a minute, and we can come back for it.
Exactly.
I like that. He gets on the thing to Hans again. He's like, please stop firing those rockets down there. And Hans is just like, give yourself up. He's like,
Give me my detonators.
yeah, he's
Stop
like,
it, you son of a bitch.
yeah. I mean, no, I'm not going to give you the detonators. You're firing rockets down there. What are you going to do with these detonators? That does not seem like a good plan.
Definitely does
Some
not.
lads get shot in the leg.
Yeah,
Doesn't kill them.
but
I mean,
this when-
Hans is a good guy. To be fair, he
Well,
could have killed those cops.
I think that would have hurt his plan, though. I don't think it was out of niceties that he didn't kill them. It was detrimental to his plan to do so.
I mean, the
It's
man.
at this stage, then he decides, or he gives his list of demands.
Yeah, wants a helicopter.
Yeah, it's the most random list of demands.
Yeah, but I like the C4 down the when John puts the C4 into the elevator.
Into the computer.
No, he puts it into the computer and then down the elevator. Just the
Yes.
explosion is just insane.
Yeah.
That wipes out a few more boyos.
And half the building.
Yeah, well, that's what you got to do.
I love Dwayne's reaction here. The
Yeah.
hell was that?
What do you mean? What the hell was that? It was a big bloody explosion.
And then you have the news reporter being like, "Did you get that?"
Yeah, I love. Did you get that? But yeah, this is when Ellis, this little slime bag, decides he's going to sell John out.
I mean, like, I know I was saying about the recast episode earlier, but if that was being recast today, BJ Novak is 100% being cast in that role.
Oh yeah, he's such a little slime bag, and he's just like, yeah, me and John, we go way back. Now the thing is, he sells him out, but not fully. He doesn't say that it's Holly's
yeah.
husband
Yeah.
and that he's a police officer. He sells it out enough because he's obviously trying to work a deal.
He's trying to get himself the best deal possible.
He thinks he's doing the right thing.
Well, I don't even know if he thinks he's doing the right thing. I think he wants to be the hero. He wants to be the one that gets all the hostages out.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, come on, like I'll sort it out.
Hans, baby.
Yeah, Hans, baby.
Bubby.
Give me a can of Coke there. Come on, it's good. And like he sells him out, and John is telling him, he's like, stop telling him you're my friend. Stop telling he is going to kill you. Stop telling him. And he's just like, nah, don't worry about John. Me and him go way back.
Yeah, I love that though. When he first tells him, and then he gets him on the radio, and he's like, "Officer John McClane."
Yeah, but
And Ellis goes out the same way we started the film with. Right with some Coke.
yeah, straight in the eyes. Poor fella. That's him dead. Should have listened to what he was told, but
I love
wants to
how
be the big man.
I love how the cops on the ground can hear this conversation going on,
yeah,
and somehow it's John McClane's fault. Somehow.
he could have saved him. He could have given himself up. But then they'd all, and Al says it, he's like, but then they'd all be dead. He's like, yeah, but he let that man die. Well, it was, him or everyone else. I mean,
Yeah.
this guy wants detonators. So,
Can't you see he was trying to save him?
yeah. But, this is when Hans is like, right, I'm done with this guy. And he sends Carl and the boys off. He's like, go and kill him. I'm sick of this fella being in the way.
Kill him.
Yeah. And the FBI show up. The demands have been made, and the FBI have showed up now, and they're like,
The demands were so funny though. Just giving a list of terrorist groups.
yeah, free
Well,
this guy, free this guy.
I heard about them on. I listened to a program on them on the telly.
On the Discovery Channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. But
Great
like,
plug for the Discovery Channel, wasn't it?
But it's more that, all of the demands seem kind of linked in some way because they're all freedom fighters, but he actually doesn't care about them.
Not at all.
He just wants to see if they'll do it.
No, it's more just that's the smoke screen, because the actual thing that he wants is, get me that helicopter and also, cut the electricity. That's what he really wants. But he doesn't want to tell that. Like, he can't tell them that.
Oh,
So
yeah. He gives them 2 minor things and then.
Yeah, it gives them a lot of crazy stuff, and then they're just obviously going to be like, we'll just cut the electricity and storm in. Easy.
You'd think that, wouldn't you?
Yeah. But that's their plan. But, I like this, the kind of gunfight between Carl and John, like Carl and McClane and all the other boys. John just outmaneuvers him the whole time. He gets into the vents and everything. Like when he gets into the vent.
You think Carl has him here when he's walking across the helicopter pad and John's running around the edge of it.
Yeah.
And he's just like, nope, in the door.
It's when he jumps into the elevator shaft, and then like he has the gun wedged between the doors of it.
Yeah.
And he's like trying to swing himself across using the strap from the gun. And he obviously misses the first one, but happens to grab the second one and then pulls himself up into the
tiny shaft.
Into the tiny vents, which just, what a scene. Like,
then we get the iconic line of the picture right behind you.
Yeah. Just it's so good, isn't it?
How many Christmas trees do you reckon that's on?
A lot by now, yeah. I've seen a lot of people doing it all right.
Yeah.
It
was on
a good laugh.
We had it on the second year I was in IKEA when we had the Christmas tree over. Someone put it on it.
Good.
Really?
I'm not naming names.
It was you.
Yeah. Let's go to Los Angeles. Let's have some fun.
Have a party, have a laugh.
No, but I like this. He gets out and then he runs into, somebody who's, it's obviously Hans, like we know that, but he's not going to know who Hans is. And Hans does, a great accent here. Puts on his accent so that he doesn't know he's the guy he's been talking to.
Oh God!
You're one of those.
So cowardly, so cowardly.
Yeah, and he's trying to lean him over because he has a gun strapped up somewhere.
Yeah, but I like that, he's trying to get to the explosives. And he's like, wait, where are you going? He's like, well, come on, we're just trying to escape. But it's the explosives that are there, but also he has a gun strapped to the back of that wall. Now, when did he put that gun there? That's the one thing that kind of, why would there be a gun just strapped to that wall?
I think they showed it a couple of scenes beforehand.
Yeah, it's a kind of a little, that's a little bit off.
He was trying to draw him out, but it looks
like. But I like this because he, it looks like he's tricked John in this, and John's like, he's like, can I have a gun? And John's like, yeah, of course, here, you have a gun. No problem. Turns his back on him, but like the whole time you can see it in McClane's eyes. He's just like, I don't trust this guy one bit. How did he get out and nobody else got out? So he's giving him the gun, but
sure, he's already looked around the party as well.
Yeah, but I mean, he's giving him the gun. It's empty.
Classic tricks.
Yeah,
because he tries to shoot him in the back.
Yeah, tries to shoot him in the back like a coward. And I mean, as we said, he played the coward quite well. So why not do the cowardly thing and shoot him in the back? But it looks like this looks like the end of the film. So
and it's probably an hour and a half in at this stage.
Yeah, you're like, okay, the bad guy thought he tricked the good guy tricked the bad guy. This is how the film ends. Here come Carl and the boys for round 2 with the guns.
Straight up the elevator shaft.
Well, this is when we learn about the, always put your shoes back on.
Now, there's another thing that's probably wrong. Like, he dropped a detonator down the elevator shaft, but the other elevator works.
Yeah. I mean, it's a huge building, so there's probably about 12 elevators, to be honest.
But most of them are going to be linked into one chamber, like.
Yeah, possibly. It's it's just one of those things.
We'll
give it that.
But this is where you learn your lesson. Always put the shoes back on because you just shoot the glass. Nasty stuff.
Yeah. Oh, you could just feel it, couldn't you?
But that's Hans just being smart again.
Yeah, exactly. He outsmarts him. He's like, listen, the guy's crouched down behind a load of machinery. We're probably not going to be able to shoot him. But this will slow him down no matter what.
he saw that he had no shoes on upstairs when they were on the roof. So
Yeah, but they shoot the glass. John walking around in his bare feet. That's like, even the thought of that is just rotten. Like, and I've said this before in other shows with like Greg and stuff. They're getting shot and stuff. Like, people can't relate to that. Well, not like some people can, but like most people can't relate to that. It's these small things like, someone breaking an ankle, or a nail going through the foot, or standing on something like that.
The one that gets me is the dislocation of your shoulder.
Yeah, but they're things that a normal person, not necessarily that you've experienced, but you've stood on, maybe not
Lego.
broken glass, but you've stood on something sharp or something spiky, and it's dug into your foot, and like the pain of that, you're just like, oh, imagine having to walk around barefoot on broken glass just for like however long. Yeah, and you're just like, yeah, that's rough. Like, you see someone get shot, you're like, yeah, that's fine. Then you see someone do something like that, and you're like, ugh, no, I wouldn't like that.
No.
I think I'd rather just get shot. Thanks.
Nope, don't like that.
Yeah, but he gets to the bathroom. I love the scene in the bathroom where he's talking to Al, and he's like, so you've all got a pot on whether I'll survive. What have you got? And he's like, yeah, I have you coming out. And he's like, well, put 20 quid on me not coming out. I'm good for it.
It's a great line, that.
Yeah, I'm good for it. Well, wait, but you're betting on yourself dying. You're not that good for it. Like, if you die, who's giving me this 20 quid, huh? But this is when we learn why Al has been a desk jockey now for the last few years. He's like, I pulled my gun and I shot some, it was dark. I didn't know what he had. I pulled the gun, I pulled the trigger. As a kid, and it was a fake gun. I just couldn't shoot again.
You
I
don't
could never
take,
shoot
you
anybody
don't
else.
take chances like that, though. Let's be fair.
No, you don't, like, so, which is why obviously he doesn't get fired from the force. But obviously that's going to fuck with your mind, which is what the story is here. He's like, I know I didn't do anything wrong, but I haven't been able to shoot the gun since, like.
Yeah.
So it's just safer to just do this nice easy job rather than be out on the streets.
I'm sure his missus likes the fact that he's
a bit safer, yeah.
The desk.
And this is where then McClane also starts giving up hope a little.
Yeah, he started to give up. As I said, he said, put 20 quid on me not making it out of here. Like, this is not.
And he starts giving the spiel about, tell Holly,
Yeah, tell Holly I love her. Yeah, I was wrong. I love her. All this. Tell the kids. The one bit that's real shitty in this is when, this is how eventually he learns who John McClane is, and like who Holly is. And it's just a little bit later than this, but like the TV news guys learning that they have kids, like how shitty they go straight to the house,
door, yeah.
and they're telling your one, like, we will call, like deportation people, and like we'll get you deported and stuff. And you can imagine that obviously the job Holly has, she's like quite well paid. It's not like she's paying a cheap nanny who's someone who doesn't have her papers and stuff, but it just shows the fear that
deportation has.
Like, people from, I like presume, like, they don't say that she's Mexican, but like I think that's kind of the presumption.
It's implied,
yeah, it's kind of an implication that, like, she's from Mexico, and it's like, we don't care if you have your papers, we will get you deported. And she was like, okay, you can see the kids, and they take the kids off to this place where their parents are apparently like they know the parents are in there with this madman who is shooting people and blowing things up, and they're like,
they don't bring the kids.
They show her picture as well, though, don't they?
Yeah, no, they put her on the screen, then they tell her, this is your chance to say goodbye or say something to them.
Yeah. Do they not bring them at the end of it? Do they not have the kids with them? Oh, no, they don't.
No, they don't.
No, they don't. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, they show the picture on the screen.
They show the picture. Yeah, which is
they put her on live in the news.
Yeah, which is then how they learn that who their parents are, and that Holly is connected to the Thorne and Gruber's side.
He picks up the picture frame then, and he realizes it.
What happens? Light bulb.
Yeah. But while all that's happening, John is wandering around, and he finds the explosives, and he discovers what the plan is. They're going to double cross this helicopter that they're putting all the hostages onto, and they're going to blow that helicopter up.
Yeah, make it look like everyone's dead.
Yeah. And now, while all this is happening, the FBI have also gone and shut down the power. And I love this. Your man down in the drains, and he's like, turn off the power, and his boss is like, don't turn off the power. And he's like, I will make sure you never work in this country again. Your man's like, oh, I think I'll just turn off the power. So like, he's the
Agent
FBI.
Johnson,
Probably,
Agent Johnson.
yeah, he's
I'd
like,
not listen to the FBI, to be honest.
he was just like, okay, I'll do it. So they shut it down, and it shuts down. It's the power
Agreed.
it's a power to like a third of the city. So you can understand why they were like, we'd rather not do that on Christmas.
I mean,
Well, Christmas Eve, but
it is what it is. If the Fed said it, it has to be done.
yeah. But John's discovered this, and he's rang down to Al and told them it's a double cross. But the FBI are having none of it. They're like, nah, we're going up there.
By the playbook.
Yeah, straight up there. And then John has his fist fight with Carl. This is rough.
Well, you do miss the line. It shows you how much of an arseholes the guys in the FBI are. Just they're flying around just like, I say we'll do this, we'll do that, and we'll lose a couple of hostages. I say roughly about 30%. Like, I can live with that.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus.
It's Christmas, man.
The fist fight with Carl is something else, isn't it? Like, and it's the ending that's the
It's a
real
good
thing.
fight.
Isn't it like the one? It's very similar to the one that Thomas Jane has with Kevin Nash in The Punisher. It's a real dirty scrap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, less said about the Punisher, the better.
No, but it's that kind of dirty
No, it is.
scrap nature.
It is, and it's two kind of big guys just scrapping it. Now Carl is obviously the bigger guy, but like two boys scrapping it out, that clearly have like Carl's obviously pissed off because this is the man who's killed his brother.
It's bad intentions.
Yeah. John McClane's pissed off because like you've taken all these people hostages and shot a load of glass that I had to walk on, like you're an asshole. But it's the way he kills him. Like when you see him get the chain and hang him, and he's just like he's just lolling there for ages. You're like, Jesus, that's a rough old scene, isn't it?
You wouldn't get away with that nowadays.
I think you probably would still be able to put that in a film, but that is a rough old scene.
Very much so.
But he gets up the stairs and he's like telling the hostages to get down, and they're all I don't know, why should we listen to you? Maybe you're one of the bad guys. And the helicopter is just flying around ready to land. So he fires a load of shots up into the air, and he's like, get the fuck downstairs now.
Yeah, and then they start shooting at him.
Start shooting at him, but
they think he's a terrorist, like.
They do, but like, fair play to him because he takes that risk, gets all the hostages safely back down the stairs, gets the airplane or the helicopter, and he's like, just fuck off, like don't land here, full of explosives, like.
It's even more so when you see him and he gets he's running around, they're just shooting at him. He gets the fire hose, ties it around his waist.
Oh, and it looks like he's about to fall out the window and everything.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm not.
John, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Jumps off the side of the building.
Yeah. And then obviously the explosion goes off once he gets in.
Yeah, but then he because it's like on a tilt, he's like rolling out of it, and he's like trying to untie the.
Yeah, because the rail comes off and the spool goes down. And he's like,
oh dear.
I love how when he realized it exploded, he's like, oh.
Yeah, he just about gets it off as well, like just about.
Yeah. Rough as fuck. Imagine surviving that and then that taking you.
Yeah. Well, all that's happening though, they've got the bearer bonds out of the safe. Hans has taken Holly with them. She's now his main hostage because he knows that's how he's going to get away from John. And they're loading the bearer bonds up, and sends your man down. Get down into the getaway car and get it ready.
Get the truck.
Yeah. And this is where Argyle is like, hey.
He gets his hero moment.
I love how he looks there. He just sees the van moving. He's like,
I've been down here chilling, partying with this bear, chatting to my homeboys on the, on the phone.
All cool.
Yeah, there was no
people outside of school.
Well, he wasn't because he was stuck in it. He was stuck in this limo, but he was enjoying the fruits of the limo. The drinks in the back, all that stuff.
How is he supposed to drive that limo, Larry?
He's all right. It was the 80s, but he floors it into the getaway truck. Bah, just wrecks them.
Stone dead. Well, he's not dead, but
no, but he's kind of locks him in and then just pops him one.
Good old
just a look of accomplishment on his face. Yeah. He's like,
I defeated the terrorists.
I saved the day. I wonder what they're doing upstairs. What's all them gunshots about? Don't worry about that. I punched this one guy out.
Who had no weapons.
But yeah, I love this. You know, John realizes, he looks at his gun and he's like, I've got 2 bullets left in this, and not enough left in the automatic gun. What's my only decision? Well, I can't walk in with this because then they'll know. So I'll strap this to my back.
I love how he just sees the tape on the desk. He's like, yeah.
Straps it to his back, goes down with the other gun around the shoulder, like, and you know, it's so good. You know,
Even though I love how he keeps the walk up, even because obviously he's walked on glass.
Yeah,
and it's like a little walk with a limp. Now he's been through hell already, but
yeah, been through explosions, gone out the window.
Which is all said by Holly when she sees him, and finally when he walks into the light, he just, oh Jesus,
you look like hell.
Thanks.
But you know, when he comes down and he's like, you know, it's Hans and one other guy, and they've both got the guns trained on him, and he's like, drop your weapon. Like, yeah, I'll drop my weapon, no problem. Puts it down, walks forward, gets down onto the hands and knees, hands behind the head, and you're thinking, this is all over, you know. Like, if you're Hans, you're like, I've got him dead to rights, you know. There's no way he's getting out of this. Me and this other boy with the guns trained on him, not a chance. But he's obviously a good shot because he has 2 bullets and he makes the most of them.
Gets them both off. One guy right in the middle.
Yeah, the guy off to the side, right in the middle, and poor old Hans.
Takes one shoulder, chest area.
Yeah, kind of just in the upper chest area. And that's, you know, that's kind of the end of poor old Hans, out the window with him.
He starts falling out the window, but he grabs Holly.
He does.
They're going for the ride.
Yeah.
You know, he's just like, if I'm going, I'm bringing Holly with me. You know,
a villain to the end.
You know what I mean?
right till the end. He's
The
hanging
greatest.
out.
Go ahead.
And
Cal.
what is it? John is trying to unclasp the bracelet
Yeah.
on Holly, and so
It's
Hans
the
again,
watch, isn't
they're
it?
trying to, or it's what, or the watch.
Yeah, it's the
sorry,
watch,
is
isn't
the
it?
watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he tries to take his last moment. So he sees it. He's about to shoot. The clasp comes off,
Yeah.
and then we get
The classic scene.
It's not
the
Christmas.
Mufasa fallback.
It's
Yeah.
not Christmas unless you see Hans Gruber falling off Nakatomi
Yeah.
Plaza.
Like, he must have been mush by the time he hits that ground.
Oh yeah.
What was it?
'Cause-
He's 32 floors up or something.
See, I don't know,
Minimum.
the party was on the 30th floor, but I think they go down a floor or two to the safe.
Well, the safe's on the ground floor. Safe's in the basement.
Yeah, but then they obviously come back up. So I don't know how high up they went.
Well, he was high in anyway.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're talking 6 or 7 floors up, that's still fucking high. Like,
You're
Yeah.
dead.
well, you're definitely
And
dead, but like, he's more
You
than
see
dead.
him
He is
falling, and
mush.
people are saying like, "Oh, I hope that's not a hostage."
Yeah.
I hope
And then
that's
you
not a
just-
hostage.
You just hear the crash, and
Yeah.
it's, ooh.
Yeah, this is when he gets to come down, and film's over. He gets to come down, meet his new buddy Al, and
I love how they have that little moment as well that we forgot when they were talking. They're like, "Have you got any kids?" And he's like, "Yeah, 2. You, I've got 1 on the way. Hopefully they can play in the park together one day."
Yeah, but I love this. Like, he gets to meet him, and it's like they see each other across the big crowded room, which is obviously an old film trope for like romantic films and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
they saw each other across the room, but it's a different sort of thing. It's like the 2 boys
made it.
finally, the 2
Yeah.
boys finally meet each other, and he's like, John owes this man 20 quid because he said put 20 quid on dying, and he didn't die. Al wins all the money.
I wonder how
Yeah.
much Al won.
I'd say a good bit, because no, I don't think anybody was putting them onto in this. But it's when they like meet each other, and he's like, "You Al, yeah. You John, yeah. This is my wife Holly. Don't
So-
worry, I can tell her all the stuff I told you. Don't worry, you don't need to tell her."
And this is when his boss starts giving, or Al's boss comes over to try and give out to him as well. It's like,
Yeah,
you,
I need a full debrief. Fuck
Yeah.
off.
but you think it's all over, but no, somehow, and God knows how he managed it.
God knows how. Yeah.
Big
'Cause he
man
was-
Carl.
He was hanging, and he wasn't struggling anymore. He was just
No.
hanging there dead. But Carl is behind them, and he picks up the gun. We hear it ready to cock, and then we hear the shots ring out. and it pans back to Al. He's,
Bang bang, baby.
he's gotten over his fear. John helped him through it because
I mean, that must be the worst gun in the world to give a New York City or an LA cop
a revolver.
a 6-piece revolver. What happens?
Yeah.
I'm down. I need to I need to reload.
Well, if he's really good, he could reload on the go. He's got
That
those
man's
fast
not
hands.
reloading anywhere on the go.
I mean, he has the fast hands. We seen him when he was driving the car. He's got those good. He's got those reactions. But yeah, he kills Carl, who surprisingly is the last bad guy to die in this film, because you'd normally, it's going to be the main bad guy.
Yeah.
Nope. Very
Yeah,
strange twist here. And then Holly obviously gets introduced to the reporter that put her kids on telly. I mean, if you're the reporter, you gotta know it's not a good idea to get up in this woman's face. You've just put her child on television, saying your parents are going to die, basically.
y'all gonna get punched in the mouth.
You definitely do not want to go near this woman. Like, stay away. Send somebody else over. Do not go over it. You are definitely getting punched in the face.
I'm
And if
surprised.
He rightfully
I'm
did.
surprised John doesn't do it. Really,
I think it probably would have been John, except Holly just gets there that bit quicker.
I think that's more for the shock factor. Like,
Yeah.
ooh.
Yeah. And then Argyle comes flying up out of the underground, and he's like, "Mr. McClane, I'm here to take you home."
And then he's like, "You mad?" The reporter's just like, "Did you get that?"
Yeah. Oh, it's
And then we leave with jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock.
yeah, because it's a Christmas song,
Exactly.
Christmas film,
Christmas film, Christmas song. Yeah.
#1 Christmas film.
Yeah. I know it's a classic, isn't it? Like,
Yeah. Doesn't matter how
Um,
many times you watch it, it's enjoyable. It's like the likes of Jaws and things. There's certain films you can watch over and over.
yeah, and it flies in as well. It's not a short film by any stretch, but
Yeah.
it does fly in.
Yeah. Even there, like, again, the same as Jaws. It just, you don't notice it.
Yeah.
Because
Those
it's so enthralling.
Yeah, and it's obviously, like, there is always that argument of, like, it's not a Christmas film because it's action, but it is a Christmas film, but it's just that different type. Like, you don't see many pure action Christmas films.
Yeah, but like
True.
you can say that about anything. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, it's not a Christmas film because it's a horror film. You know what I mean? Like, Krampus is a Christmas horror film. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Does that
No,
mean
I do agree, but it's it's rare to see an action film that's based around Christmas do the action so well, because normally they would rely more on the
the Christmas magic?
we need to get Christmas in, and this is just like, no, here's the story, it's set at Christmas, it all happens because it's Christmas time, here's the action film, off you go.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if either of you have heard it, or anyone watching who have heard it or not. Have you heard the song by Guy's Night about Die Hard?
No.
no, I
I'm going
haven't.
to listen to it though.
I'll have to give it a listen though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's GUYZNITE.
Has to be a Z, doesn't it? Has to be a Z.
It is.
For coolness.
It's a Z, yeah. But they sing a song about it's the first 3 Die Hard movies.
Okay.
And
I'll have to
then,
give-
All
then
the good
the
ones.
trailer for the 4th one was out at the time, so they added the 4th verse for it. But it's just like, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. It's really good. Like,
I'll have to give that. I have to give that a listen then. This, just quality Christmas film, one that I have every year without fail. I have this
I
one on.
watch it every year.
Yeah,
watched it. I've already watched it once this year. Probably watch it again. Greg's on 2 already.
No,
But-
I don't know if it'll make it to a 3rd one though.
I don't know. Yeah, see, it's always hard to tell. Sometimes you're just like, what I put on?
Yeah.
Go on, Die Hard.
I tend to fall into like the likes of Remember the Titans or something like that when I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I
just
know
when
it's not a Christmas movie, and
Yeah,
I know,
but,
but like certain movies I'll just go back to.
Yeah, no, and everyone has them, but this is one that I think this and the likes of Home Alone and stuff, which we
Home
covered
Alone,
previously.
I watched that with Finn there the other day.
You're guaranteed to watch it around, maybe not at Christmas, but in and around that sort of,
from
the
December on.
Yeah, like that month-long period, you're definitely getting it in there somewhere. Obviously, we couldn't cover every film, but
There's always next year.
there's always next year. We had
always next year.
to pick a couple of them here, and obviously we kept this bad boy until the 25th for the reason that Greg has already said. Christmas films,
#1 Christmas film.
top Christmas film. Bad, like a bad man getting shot down, and it launched the career of two people massively. Like, Bruce Willis went on to be,
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis, pretty much the same guy in every film, and then Alan Rickman went on to be,
Alan Rickman went on to be arguably one of the single best character actors.
Yes.
Yeah, everything he does, he's just so brilliant in, and you can just see it in him, like he knows what he's meant to be doing for each character.
The diverse roles that he's done.
From
So
Galaxy Quest to Dogma to Harry Potter.
Yeah,
he
everything
was just
works.
phenomenal.
And even when you look at like even going from this, say, to Harry Potter, Galaxy Quest was awful.
Oh, I disagree.
Oh, I hate it. But like even in that, and then you look at him in Sweeney Todd, he's the judge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dogma, he's brilliant in Dogma
phenomenal.
as well.
Yeah, he's God's
Voice.
The voice of God, and that. Yeah, he's absolutely brilliant. Like,
it was a really sad loss and thing, because I think there's a lot more to come from him at the time.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think people were expecting a lot more from him, to come from him.
Yeah.
But his back catalogue is always there for us to be able to watch back on.
We've covered a good few of them actually.
Yeah, but we won't end on that sad note, because obviously it is Christmas Day here, so we will have to leave you, because we all need to go off and get our Christmas dinners as well.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we will leave you there. Good luck and Merry Christmas to you all,
So,
you filthy animals.